This is a short presentation about visual representations of your argument. So I'm going to talk a little bit about various kinds of visual representation, including infographics, but also dramatizations. We're going to start with thinking about turning your information or your argument into an image. So an image stands still, but it can also distill, that is, boil it down or condense, and then communicate information. That's one of the great advantages of infographics, is that they take complex information that in text form would be tedious and hard to assemble into a whole picture in your mind, but in an infographic you can condense it so that it's visually present. Here's an example of an infographic that my colleague Jason Pickavance made using a tool called PictoChart. I'm going to show you another couple of these in a little while. PictoChart allows you to compose informational graphics, and it's free. So as you can see, he used a basic sort of two-part analysis of his argument, including pros and cons and images that help you sort of compose a total sense of what the infographic is about. So then there are infographics that compile images and add them together, and I want to show you a one by Robert Horn that's extremely complex but contains a great deal of information. Okay, sorry about that. So this is just a little screen capture of a website that has Robert Horn's struggle of narratives as a series of infographics. So on this website he has an overall sort of summary of his argument, and you can see that it's text-based and it basically summarizes the different pieces of the argument. And then he turns this into several infographics. So I'm going to show you a few of those. One is this this image for what he sees as the consequences of globalization. The next one looks at his argument about the clash of narratives and worldviews. Let me pause to say that I'm not endorsing this argument. I'm just showing you how he's represented it. And then here's another one where he adds a bunch of text to one of the images to sort of show the contrast. And then here's one where he brings a bunch of the images together along with text to sort of show the complexity of his argument. Again, not saying that I think his argument is correct, I'm just saying I think it's an interesting graphic. So then I'm going to show you a couple of tools that I think you'll enjoy knowing about, and as I said, they are free. One is Infogram, and it allows you to make interactive graphics. Again, here's another little screen capture. This is Infogram's gallery of infographics, and I'm scrolling through them in a way that will hopefully not induce nausea on your part. And then I want to show you this one that's interesting because it's interactive. This one is an interactive infographic about women in political decision making in India. And by clicking on any one of those categories of leadership, you can see how many women per 100 in India are in roles of decision making. You can move through all of those different categories, and it obviously is making a point that women are profoundly unrepresented in or underrepresented in all of these categories. Okay. Then the next one is PictoChart. I showed you one of those before. Here's a couple more. PictoCharts are not interactive, they're static, but they allow you to design your information in a way that can be interesting and useful. This is also their gallery of user infographics. So I wanted to show you a couple of these. This one is the poor-rich gap, and it synthesizes a bunch of information on several demographic categories, but overall trying to show the gap between rich and poor between 1995 and 2012. And then here's another one about human trafficking that I wanted to show you. There's a few of you I know that are interested in this topic. So this is, it takes information, I think, largely from the United Nations statistics about human trafficking across the world, and it represents it in ways that I think make it visually apparent. Not my favorite word. Okay, and then I know some of you have also played around with Xtranormal. Here's just an example that a philosophy professor made of the argument argument, the reversal argument, which is an argument that Descartes made. Anyway, so these two are discussing the argument with themselves, and if you wanted to look at it, you could go to Xtranormal and look up Moore's reversal argument, and you'd be able to find it. So anyway, one of your assignments this week is to turn some part of your argument into a visual representation, and you can choose any method that you would like to, but I want you to give maybe one of these tools a whirl, or any other multimedia visual tool that you'd like, and see what you can come up with that might either transform some of your argument into another medium, or it might enrich your text-based argument.